Now, the Australian of the Year this year was a different choice. It was a woman called Taryn Brumfitt, and she made headlines for being an important force in a global cultural movement to embrace body positivity. She's since copped backlash for receiving the award of Australian of the Year. Critics say that someone else more deserving should have received it than someone who comments on her own size. But her response is that it's not our bodies that need to change, it's our perspective. This is part of a growing global movement away from diets. Dietitian and author Lindy Cohen, who just has a new book out on this very subject, joins me right now to discuss it. Lindy, thanks for being in the studio.
Thanks for having me. It's a really important topic. I feel like for years we've kind of had this idea that we should be pushing people towards weight loss, and it doesn't matter if we like our bodies, but fundamentally, liking your body actually helps you take better care of your body. If you think about having a car, if you have an old beat up car you don't really care about, you don't care how much trash is in it, you might not get it cleaned very often, you wouldn't get it serviced as regularly, compare that to a car that you love, that you're really excited about. You think about this in this analogy, it's a bit like our bodies. When we like our bodies, we have positive body image, we're so much more likely to take good care of our bodies. So this idea that we can either choose weight loss or we choose positive body image isn't right. In fact, positive body image is the way to having a healthier weight that we feel comfortable in and taking good care of ourselves.
Yeah. So your book is called Your Weight Is Not the Problem. Now, it's really interesting because it's this growing global movement, I think, has also come about as a total rejection of the social media influencers, what you call the wellness wankery, where people just lie about what they look like online with filters, with those apps that strip the fat off them. And you promote this very positive body image on your social media pages where you show rolls of fat that are totally normal, and people are really, young women and young men are really embracing that.
I think when we see a health magazine and it's a curated image, it's been photoshopped as makeup and lighting, we assume this is what health looks like. In fact, we assume that someone who's leaner is going to automatically be healthy, even though they might not be sleeping so well, stressed, smoking, doing all these unhealthy habits. And we compare that to someone in a larger body and we automatically assume that they are less healthy, and that's just not the case. We keep being told that we need to try harder when it comes to our weight, that if we just, tried this diet or that diet, we'd finally lose the weight. But focusing on our weight is actually making it so much harder for us to be healthy. And you just ask all the people who've tried countless diets again and again, fundamentally, dieting is leading to weight gain in the long term. It's not leading to weight loss. So it's time for a new approach.
Yeah. Look, I'm really interested because in your book, you tell the story of your own childhood, and you say that at just 5 years old, your weight started to become a mental problem for you, and you were put on various diets at the time, even though the nutritionist you saw, pinky promised that it wasn't a diet as such, this kind of disordered eating pattern. How should parents approach junk food and healthy food with their children? Should they call them good and bad foods, or what's the best way to deal with that?
Well, this is what we're fundamentally seeing. For me, as an example, I was a normal weighted kid who was put on a diet for no reason other than the fact that I wasn't slim. So what we've been telling kids for generations upon generations is you shouldn't eat that, that's bad for you, that's got too much sugar. We think we're helping them in doing that, but it's a bit like telling kids that you have to finish everything on your plate. Giving them all these food rules makes healthy eating so much harder. But if demonizing unhealthy foods worked, I think a lot of us would be a lot slimmer than we are now. I think we can't just tell people you shouldn't be eating that. We know what we shouldn't be eating. What we need to start doing is helping kids develop that healthy relationship with food. Because you know what, if you let your kid have a lot of chocolate and they feel sick from it, that's their internal body saying, that doesn't feel so good. You don't need mum and dad going, you shouldn't be eating that.
So that's what we should do. Maybe once every so often, give them all the chocolate they want until they feel sick, and then they can...
Yeah, this Easter, as an experiment, you can give that a go, because we want them to develop that skill so that they listen to their body, because you're not always going to be there to reprimand them or encourage them either way. And their body will innately help them eat healthier if we stop shaming them around food and around weight.
Okay.